Hello and welcome to tonight's show.
Hello and welcome to episode 136 of On the Bench, the podcast for scale modelers by scale modelers, all about scale models. This episode is brought to you by the generous support of all of our wonderful Patreon supporters. You too can help support the show. Simply go to www.patreon.com/onthebench and pledge any amount from as little as $1 per month. Your contributions help with our hosting and production costs. And also, every fully paid Patreon gets an OTB sticker and goes into the Patreon Wheel of Fortune. Your support is greatly appreciated by the team, and without you, we couldn't be doing this show. We're also incredibly proud to be sponsored by the Scale Model Supply. It's the 10th year that Scott's been supporting the show, and coincidentally, it's also Scott's 10th year of producing and manufacturing what has come to be, I would say, in my opinion, the best modelling paints that you can buy. Don't take my word for it though, go and check it out. Go in your local hobby store, go online, get yourself some SMS paints, and also check out his other wonderful range of modelling supply equipment as well, such as airbrushes, sanding sticks, etc, etc, etc. Let's have a listen to what Scott's got to say.
Are you looking for top quality paints for your next project? Then look no further than the Scale Modeler Supply. Hi, I'm Scott, and as a passionate modeler myself, I've spent years creating the SMS product range, designing them specifically with a scale modeler in mind. We've worked extensively to develop our acrylic lacquer paint range to not only be airbrush ready straight out of the bottle, but also to be very easy to use so that anyone of any skill level can create professional results with minimal effort. Just give the bottle a good shake, pour into your airbrush and spray at 15 psi. So dive into your next project with confidence, knowing that you're backed by one of the finest hobby paints on the market. Head over to our website scalemodeler.com.au to check out our full range and to find your closest retailer.
And hello and welcome to the show. And in the studio, I've got Ian.
G'day Dave, g'day Julian, g'day everyone else.
And Julian.
Good morning.
And as we're recording this, April 25th, it is Anzac Day today.
Yes.
We had our own gunfire breakfast this morning, complete with some rum.
Yep.
A little tote of rum, which went down quite nicely.
Yes.
do you wish you'd had whiskey instead?
No, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter?
Rum or whiskey is fine.
Okay.
It put a nice sort of tickle in the back of the throat, so it was lovely.
Yes.
It was
yeah,
lovely.
I know.
It went down well.
Gents, how have you been?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
What's been happening?
Well, normal. Not much, mate.
Not too much for me either, actually. I mean, I've been doing a lot of procrastinating. I had this sort of idea to sort of get the ball rolling on a lot of different builds, where I would, just paint the bodywork and get that stuff squared away, because that takes time, and it's good to be able to sort of have that sort of prepped in advance, So I the idea is to clean up the body, do all the paint work, all the rough paint work. I mean, like the actual body color.
Yes.
And then clear coat it, maybe any decals and stuff squared away, so that when it comes time to actually build the model, I've got
everything on hand.
A lot of the sort of time-intensive stuff done.
Yes.
And I can just go straight to polishing and things like that.
Good thinking, yep.
Yeah, but that didn't get too far.
No?
No, because, I started working on this one kit, and I got a lot of the paint work done, but I haven't clear-coated it yet, because I got to paint a number on the side of it.
Oh, right, yep.
So I got to cut a mask for that, which I haven't yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one I was going to start, but then I realized, that's right, I'd planned to put like a resin front and rear bumper on this. And when I went to put them on, they're like one side fits and the other side doesn't quite fit. So I gotta play the hot water game.
Yep.
So I was like, I'll do that later. And then this sort of thing carries on, and it's like, then there was this kit, and I was gonna build that, and so no, I can't do that one right now either because it's got like some whole dealio with like aftermarket wheels, and the aftermarket wheels are, like a shaft on the wheel and then a socket on the hub, whereas the kit itself is the other way around, where it's got shafts on the hub and sockets on the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of like male to male or female to female kind of thing, and I'm going to have to scratch build some tube and stuff. And
you could do that. You can knock that over.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I'd have to do that just to test the ride height, just to test this, just to test that, and then eventually get to the actual painting. And I was like, you know what, that's I've got so many kits, I could just do something else. and then enough of these sort of go past, and you're like, well, I'm just sort of sitting amongst a pile of reasons not to touch these particular kits at this point in time.
Yeah.
And then you sort of look at the remaining time on the clock or any sort of forecasted builds, and you're like, well, I should wait off on that one, because if I'm lucky, I'll have this other group built, and then I can sort of do it for both of them and tick 2 boxes at once instead of,
I know exactly where you're coming from.
That way I only have to build one model instead of 2.
Yes. Well, I managed to get the paintbrush in my hand over last weekend, but then
again, that's
but as soon as I got the paintbrush in the hand, it stopped. I didn't get further than putting the paintbrush in my hand.
You didn't even get it wet?
No. Because I got myself one of those little paintbrush cleaning stations from that Green Stuff World.
All right.
It's a little bottle and a little channel in your...
Yeah. And you press the button and it goes down into the bottom.
Yeah, and empties out and puts a fresh one in there.
How useful do you think that is?
Well, I did use it when I did get some painting done, so I did find it quite useful, yeah.
And then the cat started drinking out of it?
Yes. How'd you know?
I had a guess.
How'd you guess?
I just took a huge stab.
Guessed, yeah.
I just looked at it.
It was this filthy brown, because I was painting, what was it, burnt umber, when I was doing the scales on the top of the head. And I'm painting away next, cat straight in front of me, nose in there, and it's this dirty brown colour, and she's lapping it up.
Oh, no.
That's it. The problem is, you kick her out, she'll end up scratching a hole through the door if I kick her out of the room. She'll just sit there meowing her head off and just against the door. And she'll keep that up for hours until you actually literally let her in. Pain in the ass. But that's it, mate. That's life at the moment.
Yeah, it's also a young cat, though. So, I mean,
it's a teenager.
As it gets older, it'll settle.
Yeah, well,
settle
fingers
down
crossed.
And become just a typical lazy cat that just sits there in the corner staring at you.
That's what I'm hoping.
Or sleeping like most of the daylight hours.
Sit in the corner, fat, dumb, and happy.
Yep.
Typical cat.
Yep.
I mean, it's like the same with Dave's dog.
Yeah.
It's got the zoomies all the time.
Oh, it does ever.
Well, he's only got that because you guys are all sitting there eating bacon, so it gets him fired up.
No, I mean, even when you guys go for a smoke out the back and I'm sitting there in the rattan chair, it's like it won't sit down. It won't come and sit next to you or anything like that.
I can't have him in the modelling room because he's into everything and just grabs something and runs off and chews it.
Just too much energy at this point.
Oh no, still he's only what 12 months old, so
yeah, exactly. You got to give it a bit of time.
Yeah. Calm down. Michelle wants another one.
Another barrel with legs.
Yeah. Yeah. I had some success.
You built your Duracell battery.
Yes. It's an X20 dinosaur by AMP, which is a paper NASA project, which was their first look at a reusable sort of space plane.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty cool looking little thing, isn't it?
Developed to go on top of the Titan rocket and fly back. So yeah, I've just finished it. Well, I haven't finished it yet. I've still got to go back in. It's got the gloss on it. I've got a little bit more paint to do, just tidy up, and then it's done. But I was lucky enough that the other day I saw that AMP have produced yet another lifting body model in 72nd scale, which is a Northrop HL-10. So I've pulled the trigger and purchased one of them. So it's winging its way from Ukraine. So I can't wait to get
Very
it in my
nice.
hot little hands.
Yeah, it looks all right, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know, it's going to be awesome. But trouble is also, aluminium.
Is that the one that Steve Austin crashed in?
Well, no, there's
Or is it a
that
different one?
There's a slightly different one. So I don't know which one is which. But there's an AMP do another one as well. So I've got that one in my stash, which I need to sort of get built as well. But my next project that's sitting on there is the Luftwaffe V2 conversion to a piloted
Oh, yep.
rocket with wings. So the construction's finished, and I'm just ready to start painting on it now. So looking forward to that. So I'm having a heck of a good time at the bench at the moment.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I'm really punching out some models. Now that I've broken the back of that damn car, my mojo's all back and I'm firing on all cylinders and can't wait to sort of get back in there this afternoon and do some more.
You see, Qatare's released images for the P&W 2800 engine.
Oh, have
for the
they?
P47.
Yeah,
Yeah,
looks good.
does look quite nice. Yeah, low parts count, but jeez, it looks nice. Two different magneto systems, so you can make a choice out of the two different magneto setups.
Gonna get
on the
one?
engine. Of course. Razorback P47 and Pacific War markings that look freaking awesome.
What scale?
37.
32nd.
Right.
Go well with the Bolt and Paul Defiant, because that's a lovely plane, isn't it, Dave?
It is
You're
lovely
saying
plane.
that to roll me up, aren't you?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
agree.
But you're not going to be. How are you going to do that in the same sentence as you're talking about P47s? I like P47s.
Well, they both look cool.
Not the Razorback though, bubble top.
I like the Razorback.
No, bubble top was just gorgeous.
Look, I like the Razorback from the side, but from the front, it's not so cool because it's got that weird thing where it's got like the frame that in the direct center.
Yeah.
It must be like driving a Formula One car because you know how like the Formula One cars have got the halo now and it's got that central pillar thing that comes down. It's like, hey,
Yeah, I know.
which side do you pick to look on?
Yeah. What are those American Jets Century series? The 102, the Corvair
Delta Dart
or something. They had that.
the Dart and the Dagger.
The Dagger, yeah, and that had that thing right in the middle of the
split
windscreen.
front
Yeah. It'd drive you nuts as a pilot, wouldn't it?
Yeah, assuming you're sitting in the center.
Yeah, you wouldn't be off centre though, would you? No.
I don't know.
No.
I mean, I don't know.
Actually, I've got a couple of those models in my stash that I need to build one day. I love my Delta wings.
okay.
Love my Delta wings. Mirage and all that.
What about like the
F4?
V bombers?
What about that?
You got any V bombers?
No, I got rid of all my V bombers.
Well, they're Deltas.
Well, one of them is.
Yeah, you should have kept that one.
No, I'm not getting rid of it. I need to maybe buy and buy it again.
What about that? Wait, isn't technically? No, it's not.
What?
No, I was thinking of something else. What about that American U.S. Navy stealth fighter thing that never came to fruition?
Oh, the drone thing that was used.
No,
as a
not the
tanker?
drone one.
Which one?
Yeah, you got me wondering now.
Yeah. There was a U.S. Navy carrier stealth fighter kind of thing, and it was it never made it to production, and then its canopy somehow turned up on eBay or something like that.
Oh, really?
Oh, did it?
Yeah, someone got a hold of it somehow, and it was like,
Wow. So you're gonna get a Lippish
What's a Lippish?
Lippish P11C, I think it is.
No.
Oh, Delta Wing German concept
Oh, yeah.
coal-fired
Is it-
coal-fired ramjet.
isn't one of the Saab jets a Delta?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Draken.
The Draken. Vigan. The Vigan had the canards at the front with the big...
No, we're talking about the Draken.
No.
Google Saab Draken. Saab Draken.
Right.
There we
There
go.
we go. Let's have a look.
Dave's found himself
Yeah,
another.
See? Yeah.
Told you.
But the Vigan also had that big sort of Delta wing at the back as well.
if Dave built that, he just painted it all green.
No, we'll not do that camouflage pattern. That camouflage pattern's hot.
No, that's not the cool.
No, you want the
camouflage
splinter,
pattern.
the little splinter one.
Yeah, that one.
This one, look.
No, the bottom one.
Yeah.
That one. No matter, even if you do it badly, it still looks
Cool.
absolutely
Cool.
eye-catching.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you can probably get like a masking set for that sort of thing these days.
Oh, there is, yeah.
There's one of these, and every time I go to Paris, I don't get to this, but I've got to get to it next time we go. The museum there, and it's got one of these in the museum, which I'd love to be up to. Just such a sexy looking aircraft. It really is.
Yeah, I was the same when we went to Hawaii, and I got to actually touch a F-104.
Yes. Yeah.
That was like, and just to see how thin those leading edges were. Was
it as thin as you were expecting?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Because I remember you saying that, the urban legends about how if you run your hand along the leading edge, you get cut or something like that.
Which blood of rubbish.
Yeah.
God. Yeah. God.
But it was pretty cool.
Shall we get into some listener mail?
I reckon that's a great idea.
Got a few that's come in.
Yeah.
So Andy writes in, "Hi Dave, just listened to the last episode while I cleaned out the chicken coop.
Oh, that's a fun job.
If I had money, I would buy B&A Hobbies, put you in charge of the place, Ian in charge of security, and Julie in charge of marketing. All the kits you wanted would be free with no limit. Starting salary would be 250k Aussie a year and 3 months vacation a year. Free travel expenses anywhere in the world, as it would be a work expense for business opportunities around the world. Fingers crossed that I win the lottery." Well, geez, mate, after reading that, my fingers are crossed that you win it as well.
Yes.
"I'll make sure you guys are set for life, and Julian might even move out of his parents' basement." Seriously, though, Julian, you're my favourite.
Oh, there you go.
I'd rather have the security job. I can sit in front of like security cameras with my feet up.
No.
and then
You are not taking my job,
and then
Julian.
occasionally just point at someone and go, "Oi!"
That's my job, mate. That's my job.
And Andy finishes up saying, "Also fitting that I was listening while I cleaned the chicken coop as you had Dave and Mike on as guests." Kidding, of course, but don't let them know that. Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, Andy. You're a legend. And good luck with the lotto.
Yeah, absolutely. Next we got one from James Miranda, who's the president of the Wine Country Model Club. And if you recall, he wrote into us some time ago to ask if we could
promote the show.
Yes. So
it's to show how the show went. Cool.
Hi, Dave, Ian, and Julian. Just want to thank you for taking the time on episode 233 to read my note and talk through the concept behind the Wine Country Model Expo. I really appreciated the discussion and the humour as well. Now that the expo is wrapped up, I wanted to follow up and close the loop since you were kind enough to be curious about how it might play out. In short, it worked, and in some ways was even better than we expected.
Ah, that's awesome.
What we saw throughout the day was exactly what we hoped for. People actively seeking each other out, stopping to talk, asking questions, sharing techniques, and connecting with one another. Grouping each modeller's work together in their name on the table, along with everyone wearing name badges, made it easy to connect and to connect the work to the person. And that really did drive the interaction. You could really feel a different kind of energy in the room. Conversations were happening everywhere, and it felt much more like a shared experience than a traditional show. One of the more interesting things was how certain models naturally became gathering points. Martin Drayton, good friend of the show, had his Requiem to My Father diorama there, and it seemed like there was always a small group around it talking through the details and techniques. Exactly the kind of interaction we were hoping to encourage.
Oh, geez, Martin would have hated that, wouldn't he? Having to stand around and talk to all these people. Poor Martin, poor guy.
And to answer Julian's question, yes, expectations were met. Each of the special award winners received a bottle of Sonoma Country wine.
Nice.
And the post-event social gathering featured plenty more of it. At least in the post phase, wine proved to be a very effective modelling fluid. We're still processing everything and thinking about what we can refine, but overall, it was a very encouraging step forward with this format. Really appreciate you giving it some airtime and engaging with the idea. It meant a lot, and I hope this follow-up gives you something interesting to react to on a future episode. And a quick follow-up to my previous note, I promised some proof of concept on the wine front. Attached are a few photos from the day that should help answer Julian's question about whether expectations were met. Safe to say, the post-event portion held up quite well. All the best. That's from James.
There was some photos.
Which is, yeah, I'd like to, but I can't open the photos, unfortunately.
That's a
Sorry
shame.
about that, James. But I'm
You know,
just...
I don't remember actually sort of wanting to know if the expectations were met.
Yeah, but you're done.
I know,
with the
but
negative.
as soon as you brought up that email and I saw the wine country thing, I was like, oh, that's right, there was that show. I wonder if how that went. So the way my
it's fantastic,
brain was
isn't
working
it?
2 weeks
Yeah.
ago or whatever it was. You know?
It's such a great concept too.
Yeah, and
Right.
this follows on. So Scott Gentry has, I think, pioneered this sort of thing with his Rocky Mountain show.
Yep.
I want to say, and the group that he works with over there, and it seems to me, it feels, I get a sense like it's just a great big huge model club though.
It's a jamboree for modelers.
Yeah, that's a good word for it, Ian. Jamboree.
Modelers jamboree.
Yeah. I like that. I like that.
You can tell I used to be in Scouts.
Oh, I can, yeah. But it's a great way to facilitate conversation amongst modelers. That's the one thing that really annoys me about, not really annoys me, it just bugs me a little bit about model shows. Look, I'll be wandering around and I'll look at a particular model and I'll go, gee, that's fantastic.
I'd love to talk to that person, but you can't find him.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to get that guy on the show, but you don't know who did it. And it's so hard, especially at a large model show, like
Canberra or
say,
something.
well, I'm going so far as to say like US Nationals or AMPS or over in Telford or something like that. It's so hard to sort of, especially when you've only got a small window of like a weekend to sort of hunt these people down and find
So
out.
that's sort of thing we don't have in this country, do we?
What's that?
That setup.
No, we don't have a show like that. No,
We should.
we should.
It'd be a great thing, wouldn't it?
But they're so expensive to set up,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
I mean, to get a reasonably large venues, thousands. It's
Oh,
not-
yeah, definitely tens of thousands.
Well, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So, but you never know. Something might happen in the Australian area
Yeah.
one day soon. Who knows?
Oh, maybe if Andy wins the lottery. There you go, Andy. He's not here to spend more money, mate.
Go on, Andy, buy those lottery tickets.
Yeah, get that lottery ticket, Andy.
No, I'm absolutely wrapped
Yeah.
to the back teeth that the guys had such a great time
Yeah.
in the wine country.
Oh,
And James, congratulations
Yep.
to you and
hats off to you, mate.
the rest of the
You know
Wine
what
Country
I-
Model Club.
I think the branding and the sort of promotional sort of stuff around this event and also the Rocky Mountain show really on point. Really sort
Yep.
of puts a face to the event.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not like all the old shows that have been around for 40, 50 years.
Yep.
That all sort of have a pretty stale sort of like, okay, we'll put the name and it's got no real character to it. It's just
Yeah.
representative of a community and
Yeah.
with a blue text that someone whipped up in word art in the 90s.
And look, there's
On Microsoft Paint.
there's nothing wrong with having a model show where you're going in, because people sort of love the competition. But these sort of shows that are coming out are just so refreshing to read about and hear about and see.
I'd
happen.
love to go to a show like this.
Yeah.
It's going to be freaking awesome.
So if you went, okay, here's a question for you. So you're allowed to take 6 models to showcase what you do. What ones would you take?
Oh, jeez. Well, it'd have to be the Shikaku.
Yep.
I'm trying to think, because I gave away most of my models before I moved, so I've only got a handful of models.
but that's the thing, right?
Probably
Like,
a couple of subs, some aircraft,
For me,
some
that-
armor,
that-
bit of mixture of everything that I build.
that feeling is what propels me to make more models.
What, giving them away?
No, I mean like knowing that there's a show coming in and you got nothing to show.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like, well, I better
pull my finger out.
Yeah, exactly. I better get something
Yeah.
I can really be. You're not, and then you do pull out a model, and then it's sort of like, well, that's not winning anything. You know, I guess I better do a proper job of it next time.
Yeah, but the Wine Country show and Rocky Mountain, there's no pressure to pull something out, chasing that win. It's
No, but I mean, if you're
pull
just,
it out to
if you turn up to an event like that and you're not entering anything and you got nothing to show,
yeah.
you don't feel like a participant. You just feel like an attendee. You know what I mean?
No, no,
No,
it's
yeah,
like,
no, I know what you mean, Julian. Yeah.
no, I'm confused. What are we talking about now?
It's like it's like going to how do I explain this? It's like you're a viewer instead of a participant. You know,
Of the Wine Country show?
of the event. Right?
Oh, if you haven't got any
Like
models to take
if you
with
just turn up and you just walk around and look at things and maybe buy a few things, it's not the same as like being involved, right?
Yeah, I get that. But by the same token, though, it'd be great to go along and see other people's work. I mean, I'd take a mixture of my probably top 3 real space stuff, maybe one armor kit that I can think of, and something else. The idea is to foster that conversation.
Mm.
I mean, you get a group of real space guys together, and we stand around lamenting and bitching that there's not enough sort of models coming out
if I
in the genre.
if I had the time and money and drive to go to a lot of international shows where I could enter into competitions,
Yeah.
I would probably try to put more effort into painting figures. That way,
Yes,
I
yeah.
could just bring a figure along,
Yep.
and it'd take up no space in my luggage. I wouldn't need to worry about it getting broken.
Yeah.
I wouldn't need to worry about TSA trashing it because there's nothing in there, you know.
Yeah, you were lucky when we went to the States. You managed to put yours in your suitcase.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best part. Like, I'm not going to have some special container thing for...
Yeah, I won't be doing that again.
But getting back to the Wine Country discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the logo that they have
Yeah, the logo's
for it.
cool,
It
yeah.
reminds me of like an orange juice,
Well, it
Like
just, it just
like an
screams
organic orange
it
juice
just
kind of brand.
screams charcuterie board with paired with some lovely wines, doesn't it? That logo.
It does.
Yes.
Quite
Quite upmarket.
Yes. Yeah.
or
well,
like a farmer's market.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. Like
Yeah.
a Trader Joe's.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
no, it's look. If I ever get the chance, I'll definitely show up at that show.
I like.
It sounds
I
like
just.
a great concept.
I just like the idea that it's got some character to the
Yeah.
branding to it. You know.
Yep.
Well, I'm really excited for you,
Yep.
James. I'm really
Yep.
excited for the Wine Country Model Club.
Yep.
And congratulations
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
getting it. And,
Yeah, totally agree, mate.
Hope it
Yeah.
keeps going on to
Yeah.
greater heights.
Yep.
100%. 100%.
I'd love to see a YouTube video of the show.
Well, I mean, maybe the photos would be, if they were functioning, would have been
Yeah.
enough.
All right. Brian O'Donoghue.
He writes in, hi guys, quick message to give Scott from Scale Model Supply a big shout out for his recent reply to my email inquiry. And funny, we've got Scott coming up on the show
Yeah,
shortly.
there you
So I wanted to, I emailed a question as I'm researching SAS Pink Panther. I know how the original pink was mixed and asked one of his red oxide colours would go pink when white was added. Scott's reply indicated that he knew or mixed it to test, and that's dedication for the customer. So Scott actually went away and sort of tested it. So thank you, Scott. As for Ian's dilemma, I have a folding table and a table workstation, although the link for the Sphere products item and other options might be available. So that's a little sort of
Oh, yeah, I've seen
desktop.
those. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Like
The problem is I have literally less than a square foot to work in.
Yeah, come on, man.
It's
Get
freaking
it on
tiny.
the program. Like the discussion on dreams, I'd retire and build more models. As money is no object, I invest in the smaller companies that provide aftermarket products. That's best wishes from Brian
In Hereford.
Hereford, UK.
Yeah, no, I like the paint station concept.
Yeah. And it's just
Pretty
great
cool.
to see somebody just thanking Scott for getting back to him and
Yeah.
following up.
It's just typical. Scott's such
Oh,
a wonderful
yes,
guy
yeah.
to deal with.
He is. Dermot Crowley writes in, hi benchers, over Easter, I decided to tackle a smaller project, so I started my Trumpeter 1350 USS Saratoga.
Oh, I got that. I think I got that kit,
I don't think that's a small project at all.
Sarah. 'Cause that's kit, I think that's kitted out for the 1920s.
Oh, is
kit,
it?
Yeah.
I did not enjoy at the start, as it was my first ship and it felt too big and too small at the same time. Nearly 1 metre long and lots of the tiniest parts I've ever seen. But I was soon loving it and absorbed in the peculiar challenges such big kits presents. So talk about a fuel crisis. I feel I'm causing a paint crisis here in Australia all by myself with the amount of grey paint that I'm using. The reason for my email is that I'm off to Japan next month, and I know you guys have some experience. Can you tell me what shops I should not miss in Tokyo and what I should be looking at buying? Can I expect cheaper prices, or is it more the range is bigger with harder to get Japanese models? I'm also thinking about getting a reticulated sander. Is this the sort of item that would be worth waiting to get there? And very excited as it's my first trip to Japan. Looking forward to your advice. Regards and thanks, Dermot Crowley.
Julian, you've been to Japan. You're the guy who got the answer.
Yeah, I mean, like, as long as you're in Akihabara, I mean, that's where most of the
cool stuff is.
Most of the hobby stuff is, yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Because what shops do you recommend? Like places like Volks?
Yeah, Volks is okay. I thought the one in Osaka was better, but that's fine.
What shop's that?
Volks, because Volks.
They've got numerous stores.
Well, I wouldn't say they've got numerous. I heard there's one in the US, and I heard there's one in. Well, I know there's one in Tokyo, and there's one in Osaka, the two main cities of Japan. And I believe the Osaka one is their flagship store or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, but in any case, it's still good for tools and stuff.
And I'd recommend Dermot, you go on YouTube and just put in Akihabara model shops.
Well, I mean, like, you can just type as long as you're like you can use Google Maps, right? And as long as you're in that area, and then you search on Google Maps for hobby, and it'll sort of ping a whole bunch of stuff in that area that
yeah, because I've seen some YouTube videos lately of some of the more little obscure shops around the area, and they've got some real gems hiding away in there.
They do.
Oh yeah, I mean that's
absolute gems.
Yeah, well that's kind of how it is. Yeah, I mean you can go to Yodobashi Camera for all the sort of mainstream stuff. That
sounds weird. Hobby shop. There's a camera store.
It's got everything in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like Harvey Norman or something like that, right? So it's got all kinds of white goods and electronics and stuff, and then it's also got anything hobby.
I found the kits over there were competitive with Australian prices, if not, especially the Japanese ones, but the Chinese kits were very expensive over there in comparison to what we would expect.
Aren't Chinese kits expensive everywhere?
Yeah. Tools you'd never see in Australia, you're going to have a wow of a time. Make sure you got Google Translate in your phone so you can sort of read what the tool does.
Nothing like buying a tool you got no idea what it's used for.
Well, yeah.
Well, what I use
is dedication.
What I use is the translate function on Google Lens.
Right.
Because Google Lens uses the camera and you can just point at something and it'll overlay the translation on top of what you're looking at.
Yeah,
right.
That's great. Very handy.
You don't even need to take a photo and then it lets it go.
Oh, it just does automatically.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But you need internet access, so you'll need to
Wi-Fi.
Make sure you've got that sorted. You'll need to have your internet on your phone.
Yeah.
Water airbrushes are very cheap over there. In comparison.
That's true. They're in the cabinet at Yodobashi Camera, so you'll have to ask a staff member to go over there and open it up.
I bought 2 of them when I was over there. Brought them home. They're great. Love them.
The HPB series.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. May as well go for
good quality. That's what I always think. Yeah. What's the point of going to cheap shit airbrush?
I don't think you can get bad quality stuff in over there because the brands aren't sold. I mean, I know Iwata owns Sparmax, but I never saw Sparmax over there, I don't think. I think the cheapest you can get is something like Tamiya brand, which is, I think, Iwata anyway.
Well, that's the other thing. Go to Tamiya shop as well.
Yes, there's the Tamiya shop. That's in a very different part of Tokyo, though.
But
that's
a good train system over there. So.
Since I was there, they closed that shop and opened a different one. So it's completely new and completely renovated, and It's got like you know those I don't know if you know about them. They got like what they call mini 4-wheel drive. They're like Japan's version of slot cars.
Yeah.
But instead of it running in a slot, it runs in a channel.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen those. Yep.
And they got the little outrigger wheels.
Yeah, the front and the rear. Yeah, little. Yeah.
So
on a 90-degree angle.
Yeah,
facing outwards.
Yeah, so like kind of like a bumpers for left right.
Keeps them in the channel.
Yeah, and so the idea is they've got like a 1-to-1 scale kind of one in there. It's like the size of a real car, and it's sitting there in the showroom floor at a Tamiya store, and it's got a cafe in there. They sell coffee and biscuits and stuff.
Well, do they have the same sort of setup at their Warhammer store?
Nah, it's a lemonade stand in the corner.
It's a lemonade stand, is it? Yeah.
It really looks like a lemonade stand. Like it looks like.
Something out of the 1950s.
It's a little desk that's about this, not even a meter wide, and it's just sitting there in the corner, and you're like, what's that supposed to be? It looks like a prop, from like...
I don't know that you'll get the reticulated sander any cheaper over there either, so I'd just pull the trigger and just buy that here in Australia through Amazon or something like that. Would be the best way.
Yeah.
But...
most of the stuff is in Akihabara, and that's and then there's some other things you can go to, like Small Worlds Tokyo is what I would recommend.
Small Worlds.
Yeah. That's the one with like all the miniature cities and stuff.
Oh, cool.
Thanks for that, Dermot. Report back and let us know how you went
how your trip went.
What you purchased. Edward Shen writes in, hello, modelers from Down Under. Heard your latest episode with your remarks on getting the first airbrush, something I've been meaning to express my 2 cents for a long time. I am not an airbrush manufacturer, but I do know a thing or two about CNC machining, which is the main process to make an airbrush.
Yes.
First of all, the main material for making airbrushes is brass. Like all metals, brass comes in many grades. Using different grades of brass will yield different results. Same for the needles. Then it's the CNC machines. Highly accurate CNC machines cost a lot more than the run-of-the-mill CNC machines. Also getting cutting tools to work on the parts. High-quality metals require high-quality cutting tools, which all add up to the cost of manufacturing. There is very little labour involved, so the cost of making an airbrush is actually the cost of the machine, the tools and the metals. The quality and the number of plating will also affect the cost. I'm assuming it means like nickel plating or whatever they put on. Now, you can imagine how some airbrushes are more expensive than others. Lastly, quality control. And that's why you'll find most cheap airbrushes have very inconsistent qualities.
Correct.
I always recommend airbrushes from Japan and Germany, especially airbrushes from Japan, because you don't really need to get Iwata, which are quite expensive to most. Krios and Tamiya's are not badly priced and are priced very reasonably. And there are also airbrushes from Wave and some other brands. I understand most of them are OEM by Riche Pens, same as Iwata. Of course, H&S from Germany also has exceptional quality, but like all German products, quality comes with a price. Starting with good quality tools ensures you enjoy every bit of your hobby. It's very important, especially for a beginner. By the way, if anyone's getting a single action airbrush, get the siphon feed ones. If you get the gravity fed one, because the needle stays open after you stop spraying, a small drop of paint will form on the nozzle due to gravitational force. If you don't wipe it off before spraying again, it will splatter on the surface. Like a little drop of paint will flow back into the bottle if it's siphon fed. Thank you for taking the time to read this long email, and I sincerely hope people don't get trapped into the cheap sub-quality tools that are actually not that cheap after all.
That's true.
My next long email will be a little educational course for that person declaring that there are no good car kits available during the previous 3 consecutive episodes. Your ignorance will never be forgiven.
Is he talking about me or is he talking about you?
Talking about me.
Yes. Good on you, Ed. Great email, Ed. Yes.
I agree with what he's saying, that if you're going to buy an airbrush, make a good quality airbrush.
Yeah.
Don't buy a cheap $40, $20 airbrush from Amazon thinking that,
No, well, see, the problem is, like, you can buy a $20 airbrush from Amazon and it'll perform like a $20 airbrush from
Yes.
Amazon.
You're not
The
going to
problem is that there's a lot of Chinese airbrushes these days that cost like $150 and still perform like a $20 airbrush, you know?
Yeah.
because they're basically copied a good brand, but using the sub-quality manufacturing.
I guess I'm not sure if that's necessarily the case because they just market themselves. You know, like they'll have like the velvety finished box and all that sort of stuff, and they'll have branding and
mutton dressed up as lamb.
Exactly.
Yep.
But you know, there's not that much.
No.
There's no substance to it when you get down to it. And then you got the other way around where you've got like you know, like I mentioned before, Iwata own Sparmax.
Mm-hmm.
And Sparmax is like a cheaper sort of, I believe. I'm not sure if I think they're maybe from Taiwan or something.
Like
All right.
Singapore Airlines owns Scoot Airlines.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. But I mean, like, you know what you're sort of getting. It's not going to have Iwata quality, but it's also, I mean, Iwata also own H&S. Harder and Steenbeck.
Yeah.
Do they really?
They do.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, you just got to sort of, we don't know what goes on behind the curtain, but you sort of got to wonder, like, how much of their philosophy do they impose on these companies? Because if those companies were running so well to begin with, they wouldn't have gotten bought by Iwata, right?
Trust word of mouth. Word of mouth is generally the best. And go and test these out. Go to model shows where guys are selling the Iwatas and H&S and
Usually, they got
sometimes you can get a
stage.
road test, but the problem is you'll never get a road test on plastic
no.
with hobby paints. They'll give you some crummy watercolor paint, and that's
ink or
really not
something.
what you're going to be doing with it.
Thanks for the email, though. I think it's,
it's very
really
good.
All right, last email for today. Mark Consiglia writes in, "Hey fellas, here's a topic suggestion. I know you've covered this a few times from different angles, so feel free to ignore this."
We've
Okay,
covered
we'll do
everything.
that. No, feel free to ignore this if it's been done to death, but I think it might be worth another look, specifically the link between scale modelling and consumerism. It feels like, geez, that's a can of worms. It feels like there's more than just a casual connection between the hobby and acquiring stuff, mainly kits, just for the sake of having them. A new release comes out in multiple variants, and even though there's no realistic way to get ahead of the hundreds or even thousands of kits already in the stash, there's still the need to have it, not just one, but all of them. Do you think this is something unique to scale modelling, or is it just how most hobbies tend to go? My wife's into knitting, and they talk about their wool stash in a pretty similar way. New yarns come out, and there's a strong urge to own them all, even though nobody can knit that fast to get through the whole stash. Personally, I reckon my stash is under 20 kits. You're not trying. And even at that level, I feel a bit uneasy because I generally want to build every one of them. I still buy new kits, and it can be hard to resist, but I'll admit, without any judgment, that I struggle to understand how stashes get into the hundreds. I also wonder whether having a broader mix of hobbies or ways to spend spare time helps to take some of the pressure off that constant urge to purchase more kits. Curious to hear your thoughts. Mark?
Yeah, well, I think he's right though. I think that with all hobbies, you're going to get people who just
look at the railroad dudes.
yeah.
Look at the railroad dudes.
I think amongst the three of us, I think Ian's got like the consumerism on lockdown.
Oh yeah, I have to. Yeah, I won't disagree.
And this goes back before your current living situation.
Yep.
You had.
I've always been
even when you ran out of room. You started putting things on the floor.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, because I literally physically run out of
storage I'm the
space.
same. But you go to my model room now, I've got stuff on the floor because I've run out of the room to store it.
Yeah. I'm in the same. I'm in the same boat.
You haven't tried like reorganising it and making it nice and neat and...
Mate, I can reorganise that as much as I want, and there's no way I'm going to fit the kits into the stash. I've got overflow into this room now.
Yeah, okay.
So, but see, I buy on two things. I buy on impulse, like I'll be just sitting bored and go, scrolling through and go, oh, that looks good, I'll buy that. With full intentions of building it one day. And the other half of me buys things because I want to build all those. For example, I'm hunting down armour to try and build. I want to try and build every single tank the Australian Army ever produced, worked, or owned.
So you got a Mark
operated.
IV
Mark IV what?
tank.
Mark IV what?
Well, freaking World War One Mark IV.
Yes, I think I've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can build grit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that was our first tank, grit.
So it's I don't buy models to collect. I buy them because I have a desire to build them one day.
Look, I'm the same. Like with my large stash, I have the intention of building everything I've got. I don't think I ever will, but I do have the intention. And I think what Julian's spoken about on earlier episodes, I think the best way of doing that would be doing like production line.
Because if I consider myself a collector,
You know, that's a lot harder than you think, especially when it comes to aftermarket stuff. If you were just building them out of box, I'd agree. But if you're doing aftermarket, then it's like doing production line, but you've got exceptions. It's like it's German production line, you know, World War II German production line.
Looking, I got what?
Every third one off the production line is different from the last, you know.
Yeah, because I'm just looking. I got what? 15 Edward Spitfires in 148 scale. And I thought the best way of getting through that is production line.
Like you could cut that down to one of every subject, and you would still have far too many kits.
Yeah.
But you've got 15 of some subjects. That's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Well, they're all different.
Yeah, I know.
if I was to consider myself a collector, I'd be buying things like the Qatari. I'd still have, 200 Wingnut Wings kits. But I build because there's the desire to actually... I buy it because there's the desire to actually build them one day.
Yeah.
Well, maybe all collections sort of start out with good intention of maybe building them one day.
But then we go overboard.
I don't buy stuff that's... Unlike you, Ian... And I'm not saying this in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, Edward came out with a new P40. Boom, you're straight on and purchase it.
Yeah, did you?
I don't buy just because it's a new kit just out. It's got to appeal to me, and there's got to be the desire in the future.
I love the P40s.
Yeah.
So in that way, it's like, well, it's inevitable. I'm going to get it anyway.
Yeah. See, like, I don't blame you for the P40s, right? I almost expect you to do that because that's your thing. P40s are your thing.
P40s and Spitfires. I love me Spitties.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Spitfires are the same way. I mean, they're not synonymous with Ian Kaiser that I know of.
I've built a fair few Spitfires in me day.
I know, but everyone has because they're Spitfires, right? Even Dave's built a Spitfire.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, the Lego one that I'm looking at now.
There you go. That's lovely. That's Airfix.
Airfix Legos crossover thing.
Airfix Easy Ready or Ready Easy kits.
Yep.
I built that specifically to have it in here.
Yep.
Anyway. I think there is a link, Mark, between the hobby and the collection. As you mentioned, like you just said what your wife does
with the knitting,
and they collect yarn. I
wonder if his wife would start a podcast called Having a Yarn.
There you go. There you go,
You're
Mark.
very witty sometimes, aren't you?
Sometimes.
But I think it's just a natural progression of the hobby. It can lend itself to doing that, but equally it can... you can be just happy, like obviously you are with your measly 20 kits, just, happy just chugging along.
But then again, what kits does he have?
I don't know.
Who knows? He could have kits that are worth a couple $100 a piece.
Well, yeah.
It's still a good stash then. It was only 20 kits.
Yeah,
Means he's
true.
got 20 very good quality kits.
Very true. I think he's trying.
I think he's trying. He's trying very well. Thanks for the email there, Mark. That's a very, very good talking point.
Yeah, that's a very good talking point. And, of course, you too can write in with, if you chime in anything you've heard today. Send us an email to onthebench64@gmail.com. We love hearing what you guys have to say.
Yep.
So shoot us an email.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, Wheel of Fortune.
Patreon Wheel of Fortune.
Sorry.
Let's click and spin and see who's going to win a wonderful OTB t-shirt.
Got to get the teas.
It's going quite successful. Well, who's this one?
It is G.J. Meeks, 1956. Or J.G. Meeks, sorry.
J.G.
Meeks.
Say that I can't read.
Well, I've got a freaking camera that's right covering most of what's on the screen, so
JG Meeks, I'll be reaching out to you about organising an OTB t-shirt.
Yeah.
So fantastic. And of course, all of our fully paid Patreon supporters go into the wonderful Patreon Wheel of Fortune to win wonderful prizes.
every fortnight you get it. We send it a prize.
Indeed we do. All right, we've got a very special guest hanging on the phone. So how about we have a very, 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 very short break and we'll bring him on the show.
Sounds like a plan, mate.
No worries. Gives me great pleasure to welcome back to the show Scott Taylor from the Scale Model Supply. And the reason why we've got Scott on is because he's celebrating a absolutely massive milestone, which is your 10th anniversary. Scott, that is a fantastic achievement. Well done, mate.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Good morning, boys. How are you all?
Yeah,
Fantastic.
really good. You're about 1 year ahead of us. We're in our 9th year. That's our 10th anniversary next year. Birthday's going to be in July. So you got 1 year up on us.
Yeah. Well, technically, the 10-year anniversary is June the 3rd. That was when our first products released back in 2016.
Yeah.
And you've got to be real technical. We founded our company on April the 6th that year, so we've got two anniversaries we do.
Well, my God, look at where you've come from in those 10 years. It's been a huge upward trajectory all the way. And I don't think you've looked back, have you? Ever since you poured your first bottle of paint?
No, not really. It's definitely been a challenge, that's for sure. I'm not going to gloss over that and say it's been all rainbows and butterflies, but it's been the last 10 years we've done a hell of a lot. Considering we've just we started in the garage at home, and then I was working 2 jobs trying to balance it all out, and then COVID hit, and then that sort of catapulted us to new levels.
Yeah.
Well, let's go all the way back and talk us what was the seed that started this whole thing?
Well, at the time, I was a landscape gardener, so I was doing a lot of garden maintenance, that sort of stuff, mowing people's lawns, putting in garden beds, things like that. I did that job for a long time. It was a job I loved, but it was one of those jobs that was physical. So that physical, it wasn't going to be a long-term prospect. I wasn't going to be able to do that for the rest of my life. So the exit plan to get out of that was to try and find something else to do, because being self-employed, once you've been self-employed, you really don't want to go back to being employed. You get the taste of freedom being self-employed. So I wanted to move into something that I really loved, which was the hobbies that I did. And at the time, I was heavily involved in the Gunpla community here. So as most people know, that's how I cut my teeth in the modelling industry. It was that's what got me into modelling in my mid-20s, was getting into Gundam, because I was the anime fan as well, and I watched the animes, and I wanted to build models of the stuff that I watched on the TV. So that was how I got into the hobby itself. And then when I was in Japan for 2013, because I won the Gunpla Builders World Cup here in Australia, went to Japan, and that's when I sort of got the taste of wanting to do something more outside of just building models.
Yeah.
And then, that's the other thing we need to sort of throw in, and just to do a bit of a side chat. You're an extremely accomplished model builder yourself, and award winner. Not only with your Gunplas and that, but
the dinosaurs.
You're a cracker of a dinosaur builder as well.
Yeah, love the dinosaur build.
Yeah, I've just about done every subject you can think of. I've done aircraft, I've done tanks, I've done cars, I've done ships. I think the only thing I haven't actually won any awards for was the ships that I've done, but I've only done 1 or 2 of them. But everything else I've sort of got something for. So, yeah. Thanks.
One or two's enough.
Yeah, and it's always funny because we go to the Canberra show every year, and of course Scott makes a beeline when he gets to Canberra to go to the Dinosaur Museum. And for years I've been promising Ian to stop there, and we finally stopped there this year.
we did.
And we, of course, who did we bump into?
last
Scott.
year, And who was there? Scott.
Yeah. So sorry, mate. So you're in Japan.
Yeah, so I was in Japan, and then sort of I got a taste for it. Then it's just like I felt like I really wanted to turn my hobby into the major part of my life, to run a business and make it my life. And so I tried doing lots of different things. Like I travelled around, did demonstrations and tutorials and taught lessons and stuff. That wasn't financially viable long term because it was very costly, and no one wants to pay for stuff they can get for free.
Yeah.
So tried the YouTube channel for a while. That was very popular, but that just didn't gain the traction, and it wasn't a skill that I really had. I'm quite good at doing short form videos, as you probably see on our SMS page on the Facebook and the Instagram and that and TikTok. I can get I feel like we can get a decent message across pretty quick in short form, but the long form stuff I could not quite get my head around. I could not quite get it right. And then,
and it's a lot of work to do it too, isn't it? To sit down and edit the videos and stage the videos, do the build. It's people they sit and watch it, and they might see a 20-minute or 1 hour sort of episode or whatever on YouTube, but there's probably about 40 hours behind that.
Yeah, and I take my hat off to all these guys that do it successfully, because it is a hell of a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it was just not something I could do. I just I didn't have the skills to do that. So then just racking my brain thinking, what can I do? And then the thought of a consumable product came up, and that was the paint, and that's how it sort of started. And then investigated around and found some suppliers, and that was probably the hardest part of it all. Working out what type of paint and how to get it from suppliers in Australia was very difficult. And once I got that sorted out, and ordered the first materials back in like April of 2016, and we had them on the shelves in Andrew's Hobbies in Melbourne on June the 3rd, 2016.
Did you know anything about paint or how to manufacture it before you sort of went into it, or was it just a steep learning curve?
Steep learning curve. It was.
Wow.
I understood how paint worked, but I didn't understand how to make paint. So using, talking with the suppliers and stuff, and doing back and forth, we worked together, and that's how I've sort of learned over the years how things truly work. There's a difference between putting paint on a model and understanding how to put paint on a model, but actually what actually happens when the paint lands on the model is a completely different thing.
What made you go for a lacquer rather than, say, an acrylic? What was the thought process behind that?
Again, it goes back to Gunpla, the Gundam side of things, is that in that world, lacquer's the king.
Yep.
The majority of the popular Japanese brands are either solvent-based acrylic, like the Tamiya or the Mr. Hobby stuff, or they're a proper lacquer like the Tamiya lacquers or Mr. Colour or Gaia Notes or those sorts of lacquers. So at the time, there was a sort of a hole in the Australian market because we weren't getting as many lacquers in that people wanted. And that's where that sort of started. And then when, again, experience from a part of the Gunpla community, a lot of people wanted to know how to airbrush, but they weren't, they didn't understand the thinning ratios and things like that. So the common questions were always going around was, how do you thin your paint? There was viscosities, things like that. And it was a lot of, people sort of shied away from the hobby then because it was getting, a bit technical, a bit too hard. Mm-hmm. So making an airbrush ready paint sort of removed those barriers, and that sort of got us into that little niche part of the market, which sort of cemented us now cemented us in as like the premium paint here in Australia.
Yeah.
The first paints, did you sort of have in your mind when you set out what sort of range of paints you were going to put out in regards to colour range, or did you just sort of stick your finger up in the air and find which way the wind was blowing and say, I'll just go red, green, gold, and or how did you land on your first sort of set of colours?
Basically, the first ones were just the generic colours because everyone starts. I looked at all the other ranges around, and everyone has the first few colours in their ranges are generic colours: black, white, red, blue, yellow, green, brown, orange, clear, and flat clear. So then we started with those first 10 colours, which got the ball rolling because they're the sort of colours that everyone needs.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what you're building, you need black, you need white, you need clears.
Yep.
Yeah, always. So we started with those colours. That got the ball rolling. Then we did a few more. So the first, first 17 colours are like generic colours in our range. And then we went into clear colours because, again, the clear colours are quite popular in all subjects. And then after that, we started moving into the military and aircraft.
Is there a particular part of the range that's more popular than another part of the range?
Oh, yeah. In terms of like the different, so we've got the premium, we've got the metallics, we've got the colour shift pearls, those sorts of stuff. The colour shift and pearls, are very, that's what we sort of become known as now as the company that does all these cool colours.
Yeah.
So all those sort of special effects that we do are very, very popular. Not just for car modelers either. We've got guys that do sci-fi and Gundam that love those colours for those. A lot of guys that do die-cast repaints, 64 scale Hot Wheels stuff, repainting those, customising those. Fishing lures, there's a whole industry out there of guys that do custom fishing lures, and the majority of them are using our colour shifted pearls to do.
Oh, I would never have thought of that.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Makes them look like little squid.
Yeah, and the light reflects through the water and hits the pearls and colour shifts, and then attracts the fish, and then the fish. Yeah, we've got there's a couple of dozen blokes out there that do customs and custom lures, and they're using our stuff.
Pretty impressive.
Did that take you by surprise as well? Because it's taken me by surprise.
Yeah, when I first heard about it, it was pretty amazing. But then when I thought about it, it's like, it actually
makes sense.
Pretty sensible.
Yeah.
So outside of all that sort of stuff, there's more. Even though we're just we're a scale model company, our paints are used on everything.
So there you are. You're in your garage. You're producing your first 15 colours, and you're doing the hard yards. And off you go to every show you can sort of get off to, sort of showing what you're doing. And, that is something that you still do even today. Go to shows. Which, and not only that, I've got to say that it's very few companies where the owner of the company still is extremely active on Facebook. So on your Facebook page, if somebody has a problem or a question or something, invariably, if you're not the first to answer it, you're certainly the third or fourth person to come back and answer the question.
Yeah, I try to. It's this is the day and age. Everything's in our pockets. So it's very easy just to someone's got a question, send me a message. I can answer it pretty quickly or relatively quickly. If I'm busy during the day, obviously, it's got to wait until I'm not busy. But I try and get onto as fast as I can because I want to make sure that everyone can enjoy our products properly, and if they're having a problem, I want to make sure that they realise, it's an easy fix. The whole point of our range was to make it as easy as possible, and if they start feeling a bit, this is too hard, that sort of defeats the purpose of the product. So I want to make sure that everyone knows that it's not that hard. It's not that hard to use our stuff, and I'd like to, as soon as someone's got a question, it's if I get onto as fast as possible, then people go, oh, okay. And then because they might be in the middle of doing an airbrush session as it is, and they've got a question as they're doing it. That happens quite a bit. So I'd like to get on top of it. So just to give people the confidence that, we do believe in our products and we do believe in what they do.
Yep.
And not only that, you're approachable and reachable by the users, which is sensational.
Yep. You don't see it. You don't see that enough.
You don't.
Not at all.
No, you don't.
I have a question.
Fire away.
So, when it comes to the chemical composition of thinners and other various things that you make, do you have to be wary of certain ratios being copyright or patented?
No. Paint's paint.
No.
Yep.
It's paint's not really. It's not. there's patents out there for the technologies around it, but paint's paint.
So basically, there wouldn't be like a copyright on a colour like Gulf Orange.
Oh, that's a bit different.
Copyright and colours different. Yeah. There's certain colours that I will not touch.
You're not.
Because,
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
Stuff like
Cola red.
Caterpillar yellow, Ferrari red, Cadbury purple, John Deere green. Those sorts of colours are highly copyrighted. Like those companies will, they'll go after you if they find out you're making those colours because they've got copyright against, it's their intellectual property, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But doesn't stop us from saying, if you mix these two colours together, you'll get it.
This is a close. You can say it's the closest match. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's more about copywriting. Using their copyrighted materials to produce a colour to make money off of. It's a very grey area.
Yep.
But when it comes to the actual products that are in the paint, there's companies obviously that own those patents and stuff to go along with it, and then they sell those materials onto others, and then it falls down the line. So it's the stuff that goes in our products is not really subjected to that at all.
Right. Makes sense.
Back in the dim, dark ages of the 1990s, I actually used to work in the plastics industry and used to work for a company that produced plastic milk bottles. So I understand, and the machinery and everything to filling bottles, especially at speed. And back in those days, I think we were pumping out about, I want to say, it's about 2 or 3 million bottles a month.
I mean,
So
I
we're doing a
do.
lot.
I do picture like his factory being that way. Like it's like those videos you see of like all the bottles of juice and stuff like that, all going on like automatic conveyors into machines and things. And
so that's where I'm getting at. You got these
spitting out
little.
thousands
So
of
how do you
bottles.
produce? How do you fill? I mean, obviously you must run. You got a certain minimum sort of vat size or something you make, and then you got to fill all those bottles, and you do those, and you do those. And you've got over 100 different colours now. So, I mean, you must be just flat out the whole time.
No, we've got it pretty down pat now because we've got a couple of staff members these days. It's not just myself anymore. But we've got 3 different machines that we can use to run production through. One's semi-automatic, which involves us loading the machine up and stay there monitoring it and that, and then which has got the full conveyor belts and everything, and we've got one that's sort of like the same, but it hasn't got the conveyor, but we have to manually operate that one, and then we've got another one which is fully manually operated. It's relatively simple what we do. It's we mix up what we need to do a batch run, and we've got a certain amount that we run through every time to make it worth our time, because we have to worry about production yields and things like that, so we don't want to waste too much. Because every time we put a colour through the machine, we've got to clean it. So then we've got, there's wastage there. So we've got to try and reduce that as much as possible. So we schedule groups of colours together in terms of lightest to darkest and work our way through. And, we have, say there's 6 different greys to do today. I will sort them out into from lightest to darkest, put them into production. So then we mix up a batch, run that through the machine, pumps out 2 bottles at a time. You've probably seen the videos I put up on social media about this. Just pumps them out, and we just stand there, put the bottles on, make sure everything's filling up correctly, monitor the levels in the bottles, put the caps on the end, put them in the tubs ready for labelling downstairs, because we do a production upstairs. And we just repeat that until we try to do that until we've done what we need to do for the day. And then I just go through and we've got a production board. When our levels get low, we put a little tag on the production board saying this needs to be made. So then I've got to go through and work out, which is priority, and we prioritise the colours based on that, because obviously black's going to be a priority colour, but some railway grey, AN grey, for example, it's not a very sought after colour, so that's not something that's high on the priority list, but that'll get done as time permits.
Yep. Back in, so harking back to my days, I mean, I remember when you got 4 or 5 or even 6 or 7 bottles crashing together and the milk just went everywhere, but you just get a hose and sort of spray it off. I imagine it's a little bit more messy for you if you have a.
Yeah, apart from all the swear words that happens when it happens. It does happen because, we get blockages in the line. Something happens with the machine or it decides to double pump and, we get shit everywhere. And so it's a matter because we're standing there monitoring it. This only really happens on the semi-automatic machine. Once we're all manually operated, so we got better control over those. But so as soon as it happens, we're standing there watching, so we just hit the stop button and clean up, and it's just a matter of just
do you have to wear the yellow suits like in Breaking Bad?
No, we got exhaust fans and all running around our work areas, so it's we don't have to do that sort of stuff.
Because all the colour mixing's all done by computer now, isn't it?
Yeah, majority of it depends what it is. Some of it's still manually done.
Oh, with the old where you got to weigh it.
Yeah.
You got that big. I remember the old days. You used to have that big. There was a weighing machine. You had like a big wheel, and you had to like put the arrow for that amount for that colour.
I don't know.
And then you had to move it across.
No. It's all weight based. So you load up the tenters and at a certain weight percentages.
Yeah. The good old days.
When it comes to stuff like their pearls and colour shifter metallics and that, we still do all of that by weight too, because we weigh out the pigments. And, because we've got certain pigment loads for certain products. You
mentioned before railway colours, and that's something which I've always admired about you. You can swing and pivot and cater for these real sort of, I don't call them niche, but railroaders.
The whole
niche.
hobby is a niche, technically.
Yeah. But you're able to do that, and you do that, which is awesome. And you like when I see you did the Vic Rail colours pack that came out. I think it was many years ago. I don't have railroad or model trains, but I snagged it because those colours are so unique and different and awesome. Like the orange, for example, the Vic Rail orange. It's a fantastic colour that can sort of lend itself to sci-fi, even other parts of the hobby. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. A lot of things with colours too. It's a lot of people get a bit stuck up on the colour itself. They're like, I can only use that because that's what it says on the label. A lot of people who are more experienced in modelling understands that the colours are the base. The colours aren't the go-to. They're not the colour. They're going to weather it. They're going to adjust it for saturations and stuff like that because it doesn't match their own sort of personal preferences.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will go, the V-line orange, that's only used on V-line. It's like, no, you can use it on anything you like.
Yeah.
You're not, just because it says it on the bottle doesn't mean you have to use that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And in the same breath, it's just because a colour call-out says you need to use this specific colour doesn't mean that's the specific colour you need to use, if you understand.
Yeah, I know what you mean,
because there's a lot of guys out there, like our German armour colour, that's a very contentious issue, the German colours. Some people love them, some people hate them, some people would rather use a different colour that's in our range that's not a German colour to do German armour. It's because visually to them it's a better colour. So I always tell people, just don't get stuck up on the label. Just look at the colour itself and see if it's the colour you need.
Yep.
The problem I always run into is that if I need to mix a colour, you can't mix up into like vibrancy. Because as you mix, you just get more and more desaturated generally.
Depends on the what are you mixing?
Yeah, exactly. It depends on your starting point, right? Like if you're trying to say get a very sort of punchy orange of a certain shade, a certain color, but you can't get there with the oranges you've got available,
you'd
start
with a yellow.
Well, even with the yellow, if you don't have a yellow that's like the chromate yellow, the classic most yellow you can get. If you don't start with something at that point, you can't go up. You can only go down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's why you always darken a lighter colour, never lighten a darker colour.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's the problem I have, because it'll be like, okay, I need to mix my way over to this shade of blue, but the blues I've got available are all in lower levels of saturation. They're more grey, and then you can't get there. It doesn't work.
And then,
true.
there was,
you can't add white to it either because white's going to really desaturate it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the problems I always have, because like I can get over to that sort of hue, I just can't go up into saturation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking through like all the other paints I've got. You know, I'm like, is there anything I can grab from Guns or from all these other brands? It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. There's nothing there either. There's military colors for as far as the eye can see, and they're all fairly desaturated.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you brought out all the Aussie car colours that the manufacturers used to use of Holden and
Yeah.
Ford and everything, and that's been a ripper.
I would be pretty stuck if it wasn't for all the car colors that you do, actually.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like the only way you can get to those levels of vibrancy if you mix other vibrant colors, which only come out in the car lines, right?
Pretty much, yeah. The car colours come about. Yeah, it was just a sort of a happy coincidence that we started talking to DDA around the same time that they'd releasing these kits, and we sort of partnered up together at the same time, and they did the kits, so I did the paints, and I did all the promotion for them.
And that's been a great. It's great to see two Aussie companies coming together to partner up like that to produce Aussie kits for the Aussie market, and obviously the world market too, because there's a lot of people out there who love Aussie muscle cars.
Yeah.
And it's just been great sort of to watch the symphony sort of come together, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of guys in New Zealand that do the DDA kits. I know there's quite a few guys in America that are doing them. I think from memory, there's a couple in the UK I've seen be done. But it's good to see. After all these years, everyone's had to put up with resin kits for a long time for Aussie cars or die cars.
Oh, and weren't they crap?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're good quality. It's I've been building it from day one. I got the original prototype they sent me, and I've seen the evolution from then until I've built sort of every single one they've done. So up until these two new VL Commodores that have just come out, the evolution between them all is just fantastic when you see.
That means you're bringing out Walkinshaw Silver, won't you?
You already have.
I already have. There you go.
Yeah, Panorama Silver. Yeah, that's out of the last release of the car colours. That's the most popular out of all of them because the Walkinshaw was only that colour. So if you want to do a factory colour, you have to do the Panorama Silver.
It's the classic car models experience. You build all the cars you can't own in real life.
So I'm just waiting for the day when Scott starts releasing the Mopar colours, and we know the DDA is going to bring out the Valiants.
I think there'll be a simultaneous launch. That would be probably
Pretty much, yeah.
Scott, you always, as I said, go to model shows. We always see you sort of standing there and supporting the retailers that have run your paint lines, and if there's no retailers in that state, you're there with your own stand and everything, which is awesome. So you get to talk to the modelling public. But I can't let it go past without saying that you have to be one of the most generous supporters of the hobby that I certainly know of. You're always there with your hand up saying, yes, I'm going to back you here or support this or
little
support
gift
that
bags.
show. And it's been absolutely awesome to watch that. And I want to say on behalf of the rest of the modelling community, thank you for all that. It's wonderful to see.
No, thank you. No, it's all part of the business. It's like as I said before, like the hobby was like what I love doing. That's why I wanted to do it as a business. So, and fortunately, I'm at a point now that I can get back to these shows and communities and podcasts and stuff, and which leads into other people getting into enjoying the hobby that I enjoy. So in the grand scheme of things, it's just it's something I've always done. Is just encourage people to pick up a model kit. I'm just doing it now through business.
So so you've been extremely tearaway success in Australia. You've also taken on the world now as well. And you've been out there in the world market for
he's
a
been
number
around
of
for,
years
He's been
now.
doing that for a long time now.
You have.
10 years in already.
But step us through the process of how that journey was for you, taking your product to the world.
It was a very, very big learning curve.
I bet.
I'll tell you that much. It still does my head in. It's every time we ship, there's new rules.
All right.
Oh yeah.
every single time, and it does my head in. So we export to New Zealand, America, Canada, and the United Kingdom. They're our 4 main export territories now. New Zealand's very easy.
It would be. Yeah.
That's simple. We've got, they're our neighbours, they're our brothers and sisters. It's pretty easy to deal with New Zealand. Canada's pretty straightforward now, but again, there's new rules we have to deal with. UK, the same. It changes every single time, but the headache at the moment is obviously US.
Yep.
But to start off with, I thought it was great. We started our first international territory we picked up was the US back in 2018, which was one of those moments. It was like, oh crap. But we've worked our way through it, and we've got a decent stream of product going to the US now. There we've sort of over the years we've worked out all the kinks of what we need to do and sort of worked that bit out, because it's not just a matter of sticking it on a pallet and sending it. We've got to make sure it's packed correctly. We've got to do all the placarding on the pallets, wrap it up properly, make sure it's safe to travel. Then we've got to do all the paperwork that goes along with it, which is another headache and a half. So we've got to fill out the MO41 forms, which is the DG classifications, because it is glass reflammable paint. So we've got to do all that sort of stuff, and then we've got to deal with all the other bureaucracy that goes around that with certificates of origin and taxes and import duties and all that stuff. So it's very costly, very painful. Luckily, I've got people that I get to do most of it for me. The parts that I don't like doing,
I reckon that'd really suck the fun out of it real quick.
Well, we'll get an order in, we'll pack it. We'll do production, we'll pick it, pack it, wrap it. I do all the paperwork on my side, then all the harder paperwork we've got a shipping agent that does it for us, because that's just it's an absolute minefield.
Totally
And
agree.
so you've been a tearaway success over in the UK, and obviously I've got a lot of mates and friends over in the US, and all the guys I know who use SMS are just they rave about it. Mate, I've talked to you about this before, but you got to get over to some of the international shows.
Yeah, I'd love to one day, but time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not as rich as everyone thinks I am. And time-wise, to go to a lot of these international stuff, it's at least a week.
Yes.
Totally agree.
Of traveling, going to the thing and coming back again. And I wouldn't just, if I'm going to go overseas, I'm not going to go there just for 2 days and come
No,
home.
of course not.
Can't even go to Canberra without going to the dinosaur museum. So what's it going to be like if he goes overseas?
I'll be finding all the museums to go to, so I can go see, because there's a lot of good skeletons and fossils in these ones in London and in America and that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But,
Did you end up going to that train station in Japan that's got all the dinosaurs?
No, that's only a relatively new thing, I think.
Oh, really?
The first time I was in Japan, I was only in Tokyo and Akihabara. So the actual event was in Odaiba, so on the bay.
Mm-hmm.
So that was only pretty small, and that was a sort of a fly-in, fly-out thing, because it was a Bandai event, so I had to get in and behave myself. And the second time I went was 2017. We went out to Shizuoka, and that was getting to Tokyo, getting the train out to Shizuoka and back again. That was really good too. But never got the chance to see. Even though I did. We're walking through Shizuoka, and randomly in some alleyway there was a giant dinosaur.
Very cool.
That's how it is sometimes.
But yeah, so but it's not just paints you do, is it?
No. I tried. We try and cover like all the essential stuff that anyone. If you're only new into the hobby and you want to grab the stuff you need, we try to make sure that we've got it. So we've got the nippers.
Yep.
We've got the sanding sticks and sanding pads. We've got the painting clips, and then we've got brushes, hand brushes and stuff. So if people don't want to airbrush, they can hand brush with their water-based paints from other brands. That's fine. So we've got the tools for that as well. Then we've got the airbrushes.
Very cool.
And at the moment, it's a limited edition 10th year anniversary collectible medallion, which I was lucky to get my hands on one recently.
Yeah, well, I thought, I'm doing heaps of different things to celebrate these 10 years because it's 10 years.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
So one of the things is like we see these challenge coins everywhere, and a lot of modelers are into them. So I thought, why not?
Dave is. Yeah.
In a big way.
Dave's mad about his challenge coins.
So we released them, a month or so ago, and we originally were supposed to have them around the time that Toy Fair was on here because that was supposed to be a Toy Fair thing for our suppliers, and then after the fact we were going to release them. But half of them only showed up in time, so I had to wait for the other half to show up before I could actually release them to the public. Once they finally turned up, then we released them, and they've been very, very popular.
I was pleased to discover that they're actually numbered as well, so which makes it even more special.
I wanted to make sure they're all individually numbered, so it was so it wasn't just a gimmick; it was a collectible item. So people can just look back at it and go, "Oh shit, this is pretty cool."
Well, agree 100%. I love mine.
Of course you would, Dave.
What new stuff have you got coming up, Scott?
The biggest new thing we've got coming up is our new Gundam colours. So, as I said earlier, that's where I started, and this is where we're sort of come around full circle now. So at the start, I was known as a Gundam modeler, so I didn't want to base the whole company around that.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a general modelling, cover absolutely everything, and never really focused in on it. And then in recent years, I thought, no, it's time. It's time now we can focus back. I spent 10 years building this brand, making sure the product was spot on, 100% right. The formulas are good. We got really good quality stuff. So it was time to go back to what got me into it. So in probably I'm hoping to have it all done for Model Expo, but there might be delays on it. I'm just waiting on materials. So I'm fingers crossed Model Expo will see the first release of the 12 new Gundam colours.
Excellent.
Oh, cool.
Here's a dumb question, but does paint ever go off? Because I lay my bottles on the side. That's the way they fit, and I draw. And you've got to shake the heck out of them sometimes. They've been sitting there for about a year or so, or 2 years. They never go off, though.
No. With lacquers, no. Solvent-based, anything sort of solvent-based. As long as they're sealed in the bottles, that's fine. Even if the paint the solvents evaporate a little bit, you can just reintroduce a bit more solvents into them, and it reconstitutes them back into a liquid paint. It'll get to a point where it doesn't work, but it's really, really rare for that to happen with a lacquer. When it comes to stuff like water-based or some of the enamels and stuff, once they're dry, they're dry. So there's no coming back from it. So if a bottle of water-based dries out, bin it. Yeah. But if a bottle of lacquer starts to dry, you just put a bit more thinners in it, she's right to go again. Because what's essentially happening is that the pigments and the carrier and everything that's in the binders and that are in the bottle is sinking to the bottom because the carrier, the solvents themselves, that's a lot less viscous, so it's very thin compared to what the paint itself is. So that sinks to the bottom and settles. Yeah. So what will evaporate off the top is just the solvents.
While your bottles are ready to use straight from the bottle, without having to sort of thin or anything, which is great, I'm having even a huge success by actually thinning and putting in ratios sometimes as low as 20 to 80 in regards to thinning it. Because that allows me then to sort of creep up on the look I'm trying to achieve, especially if you're doing weathering and stuff and you're doing, pre-shading and all that, and you want to just slowly, creep up on the level that you want to do it. And I forgot where I was going with it. But
so we sort of designed the paints to begin with to be user-friendly for everyone. When you start talking about really thin, low pigment density sort of point of paint, when you get to that point, that's sort of more of an experienced modeller's sort of things. So having the paints where we've got them at the same viscosity and pigment load that we've got now, anyone of any skill level can pick it up and get a decent, a good paint job out of them, without having to worry about building up layers and opacities and sort of stuff like that. I always tell people light coats, build it up over the layers. Yeah. But, it's a lot easier with a more pigment heavy paint than it is with something that's not. So because a lot of people will get new to airbrushing, they'll spray the paint and you don't get some sort of coverage to begin with, because they'll start questioning the paint, whether it's the paint's hasn't got much pigment in it, it's not really good paint. But if you make a paint that's got a decent pigment load, then you're not going to get those questions, because you spray it, you'll see the colour straight away. So then we do that. So as I said, anyone of any skill level can do it, but then people with more experience can adjust the viscosity themselves to suit their own spray style.
Yeah.
I know. I almost never ever adjust.
No, I've never done it either.
I just shoot
Straight
it straight.
from the bottle. Yeah.
I don't either. I'm the guy who makes the stuff, and I don't do it.
I mean, I'm doing a different kind of painting to what Dave does. I'm not shading, so to speak. I'm laying down
Colour.
thick coats.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even with shading, I don't do it either. But I can understand why people do it, and that's why we make them the way we do, because it gives, as I said, it gives people who don't like doing that the ability to still get a decent, real good paint job, and it also allows people with more experience and to adjust the paint to their own pleasing.
But Scott, what I love about the paints is I don't have to think about it. It's not. I don't have to sit there and go, "Oh, now what was that formula again?" I can just go, dip, and
Done.
And it's done. It takes takes all the stress out of it, and I know I'm going to consistently be able to do that same sort of get the same sort of finish again and again and again and again and again without having to worry about from one bottle to another bottle or whatever. I'm getting the consistent results time after time after 10 years of using them now. I'm still getting consistent results.
That was the whole point of the range, was to make it as easy as possible, because as we all know, we all work flat all the time. You get home at the night, you don't want to be stuffing around working out mixed ratios and that sort of stuff. You got a limited amount of time you can get on the airbrush. You want to spray. You don't want to sit there for half an hour trying to work out how to thin this and how to mix that or whatever. And by that time, it's like, oh shit, now I've got to go to bed because I've got to get up. You could easily just go in there, I've got half an hour quickly, and then quickly just spray it in the airbrush, spray it on your model, and you get a lot more work done, and it's a lot, and everyone's happier because they can actually see progress in what they're doing.
Yep.
Now, we've mentioned before you do a whole host of a whole range of other tools and accessories, but I have to point out the tool that is a must, and I absolutely love this, is my ceramic scraper. It's used for getting rid of seam lines and stuff on the parts. And it's a ceramic blade, so it doesn't skip and jump like a metal blade does when you're scraping along the plastic, and it doesn't sort of rip through it as well at the same time. It's just I can't explain how great it is to use. And if you're not using this particular product, you've got to go out and get one, because it is absolutely awesome at removing seams.
See, I tried it after you guys started selling it, and I don't know, I just didn't.
It's not for everyone. It's a safer alternative than using a metal blade.
Correct.
Oh, I'll still slice your finger if you're not looking.
Yeah, the pointy end sharp, but the actual blade side of the actual ceramic scraper itself is not sharp. You can't slice your hand open like a blade, and you can't
So what are you doing then, Dave? You just dropping it on your foot or something?
I don't know. I stabbed my finger in or something, but I absolutely love it. It is my go-to tool for getting rid of assisting with getting rid of seam lines, and especially on like you get the part out of the box and you've got that part line as well. It's fantastic for getting rid of part lines. It really comes into its own.
Yeah, the mold lines.
Yeah, the mold lines. It's absolutely sensational for that, and I just can't. I always tell people, this is one of my 3 top tools I always have on my table. It's that good. Love it.
The best part about it is when you use the knife, you've slid along and you've gouged out by accident. You slipped and you cut a chunk of plastic out, and you swear and you throw it in the bin or whatever. With a ceramic scraper, it doesn't gouge.
That's right.
No, that's right.
Because it's not sharp, it's beveled but not sharp. You just rub it against the edge of the plastic and it will shave off that raised area.
And the risk of sounding like a paid promotion is only $18 too, so $18
Yeah.
well spent.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you treat it well, the blades last forever.
I still have not changed my blade, and I've had it now
No, me neither.
ever since you first brought them out, which is how
Yeah.
long ago? What, 6 years ago? 8 years ago? 8 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, about that. It's the ceramic, because the ceramic they can chip.
Yes.
If you're not careful. But if you use it as directed, they'll last. The blades should last forever.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Yep.
And of course, you can't go past to that also saying that, Scott, you've been a huge supporter of our podcast ever since we started. You've been with us from
The whole journey.
The whole journey almost, yeah. So
Yeah, it was like early episodes, like episode 7 or 8 or something.
yeah, about that, yeah. Yeah, it was that early, and it's been a fantastic association. And while I've had other sort of people on, you're our sort of exclusive sort of sponsor, and I'm so glad to have you on because it's great to be able to have an Aussie product, but also a product that what it says in the bottle is what it actually does.
Thanks.
Dealing with a reputable company.
Well, yes, yes. Oh dear.
That's what it is.
Well, I mean, how unreputable can you be in the paint business?
Well, we won't go
There
there.
were some of those gaming companies.
Actually, you know
Some of
what?
those gaming
As the
companies got
words
called
escaped
out.
my mouth, I just remembered like some of the dramas that have come out in recent years. But really, it should be just paint,
Well, it should be, but it isn't always.
No, and that's one thing I always try and focus on too. Is this is just a hobby, people? It's plastic and paint. Get over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not like we're dealing with sheep stations.
That's
it.
right. We're here to have fun and enjoy
Yeah,
ourselves.
that's the whole.
Very
that's
true.
the whole thing. It's life's pretty rough as it is. We don't need that in our hobbies as well. So
Nope.
Well, I mean, that's the difference, right? Because you're a modeler. I think some of those dramas in other companies were because they're not modelers.
Yeah, it could be.
Possibly. I'm not going to say anything.
Nah, we'll keep it.
I don't want to start getting into areas that we shouldn't be talking about. Scott, we're going to see you at the at Expo, no doubt. So
yes. I've got a few shows lined up. I've got Wollongong, so the New South Wales Plastic Model Show.
Oh, that's in a couple of weeks, is it not?
That's in a month's time, 23rd and 24th of May in it's Illawarra Plastic Models Association. So that's in Wollongong, New South Wales. Then I'll be at Expo 2 weeks after that. And then I've also got booked in South Australia in the start of October and Canberra at the start of November.
Yes, the Canberra show.
I'd love to get up to Illawarra, but unfortunately I'm going off to Penang as well, and it's a bit of a hard sell to have, so many weekends. And then I'm off to the US in August as well, so I've got to be sort of very careful of my home and work life as to how many weekends. You've got the perfect excuse. Honey, I've got to sell more paint, so you just load the van, off you go.
Yeah, well, I only do. There's only a handful of shows that I do every year now because I'm too busy with everything. So, but I still try and get out to
the majors.
The majors in Victoria, South Australia, New South Wales.
Yeah, we went to Queensland. We had an awesome time. We're up.
Oh,
at the
Queensland was
show.
great. Yeah,
geez, it was brilliant.
unfortunately not this year, but hopefully next year we'll be back again.
Yeah. That's a great
You
show.
run up at Ipswich. It's a good show.
That's a long drive.
It is.
Yeah, that's why we're going to fly next time.
Yeah, I've been to the last two with the Queen QMHE and flew up for those. There's no way I could drive.
we drove and we swore never again.
Yeah,
it's a long way to
Mind
drive.
you, it wasn't a bad drive.
No, it's a great drive.
It's just freaking long. Like the first day was 14 hours driving.
Yeah, it just knocks coming back. It knocks you around a bit coming back 2 days drive. Yeah,
true.
Anyway, says me flying to Penang next month and then the US a month after that for model shows.
Yeah, good on you.
Come on, Scott, you got to come with me. Book a ticket, mate.
I wish.
Yeah, the US and the European shows will blow your mind. They're just huge, off tap. Oh well, maybe I'll get you out there next year. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Mate, where can people go to find out more about the Scale Model Supplies if they don't already know? But let's pump out that again, their website again.
Yeah, website is www.scalemodeler.com.au. That's our retails page. We also have a retailers map on that page where you can click on there and find your closest retailer. We've got like over 150 odd now across Australia, New Zealand, America, Canada, and UK. So if you're international, you can check out the retailers map there to see who your closest one would be. And you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok under at the Scale Modeler Supply.
And for people who can't get your products overseas through a retailer overseas, can they go direct to you?
Yeah, some countries can, some countries can't. You go through the checkout system on the website. It will tell you if you can or can't.
No worries.
At the moment, we're having issues with Middle East countries. Obviously,
Yep.
we can't ship there at the moment. Some areas we don't ship to because of distribution deals, but it will tell you, because we can't ship directly to the UK because of distribution. We can't ship to the US, unfortunately. I won't go into those political details, but everyone knows why. And Canada at the moment, we can still ship direct to Canada, but we'll be changing that soon as well.
Very good.
Right on.
Scott, it's been awesome to have you on the show again.
Yes.
And can't wait. We've been threatening to come up and do a session from your factory. But, but you can tell them there's nothing to see. But
there's nothing to see. Everyone thinks it's like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. It's literally just shelves. Pretty much the stuff I've shown on social media is pretty much it. It's not fantastic in anything. It's just a working factory.
Well, actually, I don't think I will come there because I remember when I was a child, I went to Tasmania. I went to the Cadbury chocolate factory in Tasmania expecting like a Willy Wonka sort of wonderland. It was the most run-down, dirty sort of chocolate manufacturing process you've ever seen in your life. So I don't want to burst a bubble about what yours looks like in my mind. So perhaps we won't come up there.
What did it look like? Did it look like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory if it was based out of Soviet Russia or something?
Yes, exactly. Pretty much. There's machines there that were built back in the day of steam that were still being used to manufacture
complete
chocolate.
with like the workers shuffling their feet and dark cloud looming over there.
The workers looked like they were serfs from the middle of the Middle Ages walking around. Oh,
That's
man.
what I want.
Anyway, Scott, mate, it's been awesome chatting with you. Congratulations on your 10th
10 years.
anniversary.
Thank
Can't
you.
wait to see what's going to happen on the 20th anniversary or what's the Jubilee for the 25th? Is it diamond or something? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
That's a bit long
Make
way
a
off.
comment later or something.
Another 15 years, dude.
Thanks very much, mate. Been awesome chatting to you.
No worries, guys.
That's all great talking to Scott, isn't it?
It is.
Such a lovely guy.
I know.
Real credit to the hobby, mate.
Oh, he is. And not only credit to the hobby, but as I said to him, and I mean, he's one of the most humblest guys, and he puts so much back into the hobby
Yep.
that it's just, an amazing guy.
Yeah. There's no, like, corporate wall.
That's very good, Ian. I like the one. Yes, you're right.
See?
There is no
Occasionally my
corporate-
brain works. No, it's true. There's no corporate wall.
Yeah.
It's you're dealing with a guy who come up with a concept, does the hard yards,
Yep.
and is very open to speak to anyone about his product.
And as we saw in Listener Mail, he's extremely responsive to his audience.
Yeah,
to his customer base. And
Last show I met him at, I bought those mystery bags that he had.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
He had these little bags, and I think there was like 2 in there or something
Yeah,
like
a couple
that.
of limited edition paints or something, isn't it?
Yeah. And then I bought like several of these things, right? I said, "Are you gonna let me swap for a one that I don't have if I get a double?" And he did. He let me do that.
Yep.
I didn't do it. I didn't buy too many of them. I think I bought 3 or 4 or something. Yeah, and that was enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not just his paints. His tools are usually very good quality too. Like I bought a few of his tools, and
Well, like I said,
paintbrush sets are nice.
that
Ceramic scraper,
that is just
sanding
the bee's
sticks.
knees. Yep.
He does 2 different types of sanding sticks. He's got like the really coarse ones and then the really fine ones. And those coarse ones, jeez, you don't want to freaking mess with those because they'll just take your skin back to your freaking bone. They are really, really coarse. I think they're for when you're building those Mac 2 kits.
You know, I saw a video where this guy, he had like one of those deals where it's got like a big belt of sandpaper that goes on a roller,
Yeah.
and then you feed like pieces of wood through this thing, and it sands them all.
Yes,
on both sides, right?
Yeah, I know that's right.
And he was talking about how like some of these more oily sort of woods will gum up the sandpaper quite quickly, and so he'll refurbish the sandpaper by rolling it all up, putting it in a jar with Simple Green.
With what? What's Simple Green?
Simple Green's like an all-purpose cleaning fluid that you can get in the States.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, it's like comes in a big bottle and it's green, and I've heard of people using it to strip minis of paint. Yeah, it takes time.
And that just breaks down all the resins and stuff, I suppose.
Yeah, and then he scrubs it a bit as an extra thing, but it looked like he'd already taken off almost everything on it.
So he just reuses it.
Yeah, I don't know if you could necessarily use it with our kind of sandpaper because it's paper backed and the paper would.
Yeah, you need the stuff with the fibre back.
Yeah, so like
but our paperback sandpaper, I use it when I wet and dry it, and if you leave the sandpaper to dry, it dries back fine. It's no problem at all.
Yeah, but that's because it's not to me. Well, I might be wrong. I'll probably get told I'm wrong, but in that when your sandpaper doesn't actually wear out, it just gets that clogged up. You can't use it again.
Bit of both, I think.
Because if it wears out, wouldn't that be leaving like the residue on what you're sanding?
No, I've got sandpaper that's worn out because the grit's gone.
Oh, right. It's completely worn back to the backing.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Geez, if you use that a fair bit, then I've never gotten that far.
No, I have, yeah.
You run the risk of making channels when you do that.
I mean, we all know that, it starts off very coarse and then it gets more and more.
Fine.
It's like it steps down from like 400 grit to 800 grit over time.
Yes. Very true. Very true.
Do you ever think, I've got to wear this one in? Do you ever think that?
You got to wear this. It's a bit coarse.
Because you get used to using that 400 for a while, or whatever it is. Like the one I use all the time is the 600.
600. I'm a huge fan of the 600 sanding sticks. Yeah.
And then you go swap to a fresh one, you're like, oh, jeez, this one's a bit much.
It's taken way too much.
But I already got there to that point like previously, so obviously I was doing something right the first time, right?
I never used to. It was only last 5 years I've been using sanding sticks. Before then, I never used sanding sticks.
I love sanding sticks.
And now I know I'm an idiot for not. Because they are such a freaking awesome tool.
And see, like I remember starting with sticks and then, sandpaper, right? And then because sandpaper is sandpaper, you think, oh, that's kind of an obvious. I'll buy the sandpaper, and you would go, well, I don't want to use this whole thing, so I'll cut it down, and then you realize, well, actually, I don't want it to round off all my edges, so I'll get something that's backed by a physical thing, like a sanding stick, or put a block behind it.
That's what I did. I made a good dozen different shapes of backing blocks, like curved ones and square ones,
can round
and
off corners and things. Yeah. So I'm actually now sort of getting to the point where I'm like, I need files.
Yes.
And there's a job that only files can really do, and then you sort of realize that all these different forms of sanding media have their place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like the sponge types.
I love the sponge type if I'm doing a rounded.
Fuselage is the heavy sponge, because a sanding stick has a little bit of sponginess to it, but not
heavy
enough.
Sponge, the really spongy sponge.
Yeah, the spongy, the ones that have like a good like 5 mil almost of sponge behind it.
You can buy those tools that are like, you get a thin piece of sandpaper and it's like a bow that you put it in.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to not square off rounded edges.
Yeah, I've got one of those. I think I may have used it once.
Yeah, they're annoying to use.
Yeah.
But
because occasionally it pops off and you got your sandpaper just flipping around.
And did you notice that the actual like band of sandpaper is so super thin that it's going to get used up? It gets used up too quickly.
Yeah, and not just that, it's where they fold, and when they fold it back over and glue it, so you got that round bit at the end, that always comes apart.
Yeah, but you can go and buy the sandpaper and just cut it into strips and do it. I've solved that problem.
Yeah, I've done that a few times. I've done where I'd get like flat toothpicks. If I had like a tiny little bit I need to sand, and then just super glue a tiny bit of sandpaper to the end of the flat toothpick. And just
Yep. That's what I've done. Yep. There are some
Just to
places
get-
you can only get
Yep.
into like that.
Yep.
Yeah,
You have to make your own sanding tool.
that's right. And even those, electric sanding tools, I find
I haven't got one yet.
you
do,
know,
don't you?
I'm-
No.
Oh, Dave does.
I do, and I love it and I hate it at the same time. Like if you're doing a certain area, don't push down it, just let it do its work.
yeah.
But two,
Let
it can
the
sort
tool
of
do the work.
It can sort of skip off, and go and you go. Oh.
Oh, okay.
But
Interesting.
you're not holding it tight enough.
Well, yeah, but then I don't know. At the end of the day, sometimes
You
it's
should
just
never blame your tools, mate.
It's just as satisfactory, or even better sometimes, just using a sanding
So
stick.
I actually find that I come across more situations where I'm sanding. Now, what was it? Concave or convex surface?
Concave curves.
Yeah. I
Convex
go for the
curves upwards.
I encounter more concave situations
Yes.
than convex.
Yes.
Like for example, rather than if you're building planes, you're mostly after that.
Convex.
Yeah, you're after that fuselage seam line, the one that's the most easily seen.
Yep.
But then with cars, there's a lot more sort of hollowed out
Yes.
shapes that I've got to get into
Yes,
and polish them.
Yep.
That's where all of my time is spent these days, I suppose. A lot of time. So I've got a lot of I want to say something around the eyes of 6,000 to 8,000 grit stuff, and I'm in there with the water and trying to get those corners.
The tip of your pinky finger.
Yeah, well, I'll sort of fold it on itself, and sometimes I'll fold it twice if it's a wider radius.
You ever done it where you roll it?
Yes.
Sort of.
I actually made a whole heap of different sized tubes cut to a certain length where
Yep.
I'd roll the sandpaper around. So rather than have like a square sanding block, you're using like a tube. And that gave you a really nice curve.
I'm surprised that you need to get sandpaper like that for such sharp things. I thought you just use your intellect.
Oh.
Anyway.
Anywho, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of cars have those sort of features, the little sort of, because they love to do that sort of thing. But planes, not so much. On a plane, you'd probably only encounter that for, say, the wing root seam. Yeah. But they're, the kind of models that I would buy that would be planes that are good quality. Generally, you don't have a problem in there.
No, that's right. The fit's usually pretty darn good.
Well, I mean, it's a natural spot where there's going to be like a fillet in there anyway, and they'll work it around the seam lines, and I won't have to worry too much.
Very
But
true.
cars,
Different story.
you're trying to get rid of that orange peel in that corner there, and it's
Good luck with that, mate.
All right. That's sort of coming up to the end of the show now, gents.
Yeah,
I've been
2
here
hour
for-
mark.
why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
On this fantastic, lovely
Oh,
weather
it's-
Anzac Day.
Yeah, I'm going to look forward to stepping outside, actually. It's
Yeah.
really nice out there.
Go after a 2-up game or something like that. That'd be good.
Yes.
So if you are out there honouring our Anzacs, have an enjoyable day.
Yep.
Don't drink too much.
Yep.
Oh, what am I saying?
Of course, you got to have a drink.
Have a drink.
Have
Enjoy
a
your
drink.
2-up.
Enjoy yourself. Yep.
Go to the footy this afternoon
Yep.
and have a good time catching up with mates.
Yep. Totally agree.
All right, Ian.
Adios, everyone.
Julian.
See you in a fortnight.
Yeah, so I'm going to go home, have an afternoon nap.
You
Good on
good
you,
boy.
Grandad.
All right, guys, we'll be back in a fortnight. We'll see you then.